Stage 5 of ZRL, and it's the Queen stage on the Glyph Heights. Only the strongest will survive, but it's a points race, so with a little bit of knowledge from me and a lot of course knowledge, you can make the most out of this horrendous stage. In stage 5, only 2 segments will be scored. There's the main mountainside comm and the ITSA comm. The main mountainside comm is FTS only, so the top 5 riders will score on this over both times that it's done. I would imagine almost all of the points will go on the first time you do it, which is in the run-in, and then the ITSA comm is going to be scored both for FAL and FTS. This recon is sponsored by levelvelo.cc, who are suppliers of awesome cycling clothing. I've been wearing mine for ZRL this season, and you should get down there too. They do custom kit designs, they're specialist in indoor clothing, and it really is the best cycling clothing, possibly the best clothing that I've ever worn. It's top stuff. The link's in the description. Get yourself down there. An utterly bizarre combination of power-ups are available for this race. So there's the feather, which will be remotely useful, and then there's the truck, and they're going to be dished out in a proportion of 4-to-1. So an 80% chance of getting a feather, which I would think pretty much everyone will want, and 20% of the time you'll get a truck, which I don't think many will be after. There will be times to use it, but I would think you'd want the feather. So let's have a look at the profile of the course before we look at the full recon. So it starts out on familiar territory as we head through the Acropolis sprint, but in reverse, and then the Stoneway sprint, again in reverse. But then we head up to the main mountainside comm, with a short little interlude before the ITSA comm commences, and then you go up most of the grade. And then after that, you get the pleasure of finishing at the top of the epic climb. There's a long descent, slightly bumpy down there, and then a little bit more descent, and then a bit of flat, and then up the main mountainside comm for the finish. It's 34 kilometers in total, and there's 618 meters of elevation. I have made some lovely detailed course notes for you again, which are available to download from the levelvelo.cc website, link in the description. We're going to look at the footage of a race from my friend Guakbam, who did a points race here just a little while ago. We start off on familiar territory from the Sugar Cookie route, where we approach the Acropolis sprint from the other direction. You'll pick up a power up there at about 3 kilometers into the race, and then you'll get another power up at about 5.5 kilometers into the race, I think it is. You've got a 96% chance that you'll pick up a feather at one of these banners, so you can consider yourself mildly unlucky if you don't get a feather at either. And the first segment is an FTS segment, so you may want to hang back a little bit as you approach if you think you're going to be in with a chance of gaining some points on the first climb. So the first climb starts at 6.6, so if you're looking for those FTS points, which are the only points available on the first climb, then hang back a little bit as you're approaching there. Get yourself a second or two, which you can which will all count just the same as on the top, and they're a lot easier to get those seconds at the bottom than they are at the top. And if you've got that feather, then I would say you should use it as you're coming round this right hand of this corner. Accelerate away, get some speed up for the flat, take the points that are available. That's 10, 8, 6, 4 and 2 for the first 5 places. The ITSA comm segment starts only 600 meters further down the road. It does start with a fairly sort of gentle up and down, and you should be able to regain some composure there, and then eventually it heads into a more steady 5%, 6% section, little dips down, and then the final bit, there's a bit of a 7-8% section there at 12.5 where you really want to make an effort, because the gradient does drop down a bit for the finish. so you'll find it a lot easier to make ground on those steeper sections a little bit earlier. And then we drop down again, and it's no longer about you against other riders from other team. It becomes you against the mountain. This is the grade. It's 10%, 9%, 11%, fairly steady all the way up this thing. You've trained for it, you've earned it, you've deserved it. It becomes a mental battle. Every pedal stroke, feel the rhythm, know that you've earned the fitness that you've gained. Struggle against that voice that's telling you to give up, and pass that banner. Hopefully pick up another feather, and then, oh, we've got another bonus section up to the top of the epic climb this time. You do get this little rolly bit, though even that's pretty hard. Use it to your advantage if you can by getting some draft behind someone or two, and then push on the harder on the steeper bits. Fairly steep, not quite as punishing a gradient as the grade. There we go. You've made it. You've earned it. You've deserved it. You're at the top, the pinnacle of the ZRL season 1. There's no points available for reaching that, like there is in the Tour de France. No prize available for reaching that first. Long descent. Get your super tuck right. Get your super tuck. You can gain extra speed in your super tuck if you push over the top of these little bits. So try and get extra speed, get in your super tuck, and where it's available, 57 kilometers per hour and minus 3% gradient. Stop pedaling, go into the super tuck. You're usually going faster. You can put in little digs on the flatter bits, might increase your speed a bit, but a lot of that is super tuckable. Then you've got this more rolling section where you won't get the super tuck, and then flat section and into the main mountainside com for the second and final time. Technically there's FTS points available here, but I can't see them going, so it's the same climb again, similar sort of thing. You're probably just got to be a lot more tired. So optimize your position. Think like a team. If you've got teammates, one attack, one don't. But yeah, this is the place to attack on that final few hundred meters of the climb. Earlier if you've got the legs, and well, just take as many points as you can to the finish. And I hope you triumph on this magnificent stage.